everybody, it's Sandy the Sunroom Stitcher, and it is Saturday. It's 11:50 in the morning. It's Saturday morning, October 7th. Or did I forget that? It's my brother Rick's birthday. Tough night, and it's been a tough morning. My brother would have been 59 today, and I just don't know what to say about that, except for I miss him. So anyways, this is a totally impromptu video. I don't have anything ready for this. I thought, because of my mood, the thing that makes me the most happy is stitching with my friends. And so I've got my PlayStation out here, my Diet Pepsi. I'm sitting on my porch swing. Noah's right here beside me. You can see his little face. Allie's in the house. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to sit out here and just babble while I stitch. But I don't have my shout outs, my new subscriber shout outs, but I will get to them in my next video. And I know that the packages that I sent out this week have been delivered. So Teresa and Amanda should have their Halloween ornaments in the Halloween ornament exchange. And let me show you. I don't even have the note that Amanda wrote with this, but I want to show it to you because I just think it's absolutely darling. And this is the first time that Amanda had ever done anything like this. And this was her ornament, double toil and trouble, with the little witch. Isn't that cute? And I love the trim on the sides. And look at that fabric. Is that not perfect? I'll get the pertinent information and put it in my next video, but I'm gonna put this in my dining room. It's a little bit big for the tree that I have, but I can absolutely sort of prop it up there among the pumpkins and stuff. And I'll take a picture of that once I get that in there. But Amanda, thank you so much. I absolutely love it. And I'm so pleased that Amanda and Teresa had fun doing this, and I'm so pleased that they learned something doing it. I did too. Yes, I'd made ornaments before, but I'd never made an oval one or a round one, and I learned a lot doing that. So that was very exciting. And so anyways, I hope that we can do an exchange like this again in the future. I have plans for our next, it's a challenge. It's going to be a tag challenge. And you know those luggage tags that they have, that they put on at the airport? And I know that you've seen like the tag, people decorate tags. Well, this is a template. This is mine. I'm figuring out all the ifs, ands, or buts about it, but you can actually go on to Pinterest and put in tags or cross-stitch tags, and get ideas for them, how to put them together and stuff like that. But this is just the bare bones of what I'm thinking, and I'll actually make a video about the the nailed down facts. But what I'm thinking now is that you make your own template, and using the dimensions that I've got, and those dimensions are 4 inches high by 2 5/8 inches wide. And you can, I would really like to see you make your own patterns or whatever, your own designs to stitch, and then you would submit a picture to me. And I'm going to create a blog just for this tag challenge. And I think the name of it will be, I like this, The Sisterhood of the Sunroom Stitchers. Isn't that fun? And you can enter it as often as you want. You can take elements from other patterns that that you've got, or you can make your own. I have some ideas for mine. You can, and I thought that I would run it from now until 30th of June next year. On the 1st of July, then the voting would begin, and everyone would go to the blog. If they haven't already visited, they would go to the blog, and all of the entries will be numbered, number 1, number 2, number 3, with a little bit of information about it, and you vote for which is your favorite. And that person will, the voting will probably go for like 2 weeks. And you get only one vote, because that's only fair. And you can only vote once, and whoever you guys choose will win the prize. And the prize is going to be, I thought what I would do is between now and then, I would pick up little things here and there, maybe cull through my stash and find some stuff that would make appropriate for a prize box. And and they would win the prize. Now there might be a consolation prize or a second place or something like that. I'm not sure yet. And honestly, that doesn't have to be determined until way later. But this would be open to all of FlossTube, and particularly my subscribers, and from all over the world, not just here in the United States, because I will send the prize anywhere in the world to whoever wins. But I thought that sounded like a lot of fun. It wouldn't require you guys mailing anything or doing anything. And I think it'll be like eating potato chips. Once you've created one, you're going to want to create another. And I've got a lot of ideas for mine, too. I was thinking like a series of things. And I'm not going to spoil that. But you could use anything you wanted for your tag. You could stitch it on perforated paper, perforated plastic. If you've got one of those die cut cross stitch thingies, you could use that. You could use fabric. You could probably even use like screen. That's screen. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? I thought it would be neat to take this part, and you could use like scrapbooking paper and make the template. And then you could make a rectangle that would fit just inside the borders, and you could stitch that and then adhere it to this. I also thought, wouldn't it be a cool bookmark? Yeah, make a tassel or something. Reinforce the hole. But anyways, there's a lot of cool things that I think you could do with that. The subject matter is open to anything that you want. But I would love to see all the creative minds at work using different elements, maybe elements that aren't necessarily cross-stitch. But, because I was thinking of like, oh, I don't know, using, oh, I don't know. I have some paper clips that are like a spiral, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to put those like as a celebration kind of thing, you know, like firework kind of things, but, and tack them on there. But anyways, so that's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I really, and this idea, I have to credit to Teresa Pyers, or Pyers, or, yeah, Pyers. Pyers, is that how you pronounce your name, Teresa, your last name? But anyways, it was her idea, and I will link a YouTube video that she sent to me, and when I watched it, I got so excited because the possibilities are endless with it, and you know, it's fun for us to stretch our imagination, and that's what I want to do. So anyways, I'm gonna pull out my stitching here, and I'm gonna talk to y'all while I stitch and drink my Diet Pepsi, which I haven't had yet this morning. I love my Diet Pepsi, but it's actually been, oh, here, let me show you guys this. Me and, I think his name is Peter Polar Bear. Me and Peter Polar Bear are becoming best buds here. There we go. He's missing his head, which I started working on. We can't have a headless polar bear. Scare all the kids half to death. But can you hear the wind outside? It's cool. There's a hawk up there. But the wind's blowing, and my willow tree is just, I love to watch the branches sway. To me, it's so soothing. Yeah. We have a hanging basket up here. You can't see it, but it's got artificial flowers in it, and actually the wind is coming in the window and going out that window, or going in that window, not that one, I'm not sure, but it's actually blowing that. But anyway, so it's been cloudy, and we've had some rain and stuff, and honestly, it's been gray and dismal. And, you know, I would think that as the years go by, it wouldn't be so difficult dulling with anniversaries or birthdays of my brother. But it really is. And this, I think this time around is probably not helped by the weather. My mom called me this morning, and of course I'm not the only one that's having problems with it. He's my brother had a sweetheart in his life, and she lives in New Mexico in the mountains, and her name is Bonnie. And she is beautiful, just a beautiful woman. And she's having a hard time with it today too. Not that she doesn't every day, but I do know that if Rick was still alive, they would have been married. And that would have been so nice to really have, even though I consider Bonnie my sister-in-law, it would have been official, and it would have been nice. Because she's just, like I said, long, dark, almost black hair, big brown eyes. She's short, part Native American, and she's a really special lady. Her and my youngest brother and my sister, they talk. I'm horrible about that. I'm really horrible about that. One of my Weight Watcher friends, Mary Jo, I guess I wasn't paying any attention. I have gotten caught up in my own, I don't have drama in my life, but I've gotten caught up in my own, I don't know, my own self. She was really sick. She was in ICU and stuff, and she's actually in a assisted living place where she's getting physical therapy so she can go home. But Mary Jo is the one of the sweetest ladies you ever want to meet. She doesn't have bad words to say about anybody. Always very positive about everything. And she has a great grandson. His name is, don't stand on that. Noah. Off. His name is Oliver. And he has the sprinkle of these cinnamon colored freckles on his little nose. He's a beautiful boy. Oh. But anyways, she has a lot of therapy going on. And I got shamed by Tara from Living on a Dime. They were talking about some stuff, and I felt ashamed of myself that I hadn't made any extra effort to go and see her. So I sent her a Facebook message, and I said, when's the best time to come visit? Because, I don't want to go up there and spend an hour, and she's been in physical therapy. I mean, if I go up there, I want to visit with her. So, anyways, I'm praying for her. And, yeah, Tara and her husband, Dave. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's her husband's name. Yeah. I'm sorry. They have Living on a Dime, and, a lot of people don't. She's she's much better Christian than I am, because, boy, and her mother Jill lives in, I think she's living in Wichita, Kansas, but they went through a really difficult time, and actually what Dave and Tara and Jill do is they have this company. They wrote a cookbook called Cooking on a Dime, or Cooking with Living on a Dime, Cooking. But I've got the recipe book, and I love it because, you know, um, because it's just recipes of things that don't need a lot of special ingredients, and it's like old-fashioned kind of cooking. And from cake mixes and cookie mixes to different meats and stuff like that, and breads. Also, there's the Big Family Homestead, and they had a recipe for a bread. It's a sweet bread, though, an Amish sweet bread, but it's, how should I put this? It's got sugar in it, but it's a bread that you could make sandwiches and stuff with. But anyways, I want to make that, try it. They say it's like 30 cents it costs 30 cents a loaf to make. I'm going to try that. But anyways, Tara had talked about the turkey that she made, and that she cooked it overnight. And last year, right before my last day at work, I won like a 20-pound turkey, and it's the first time I ever won anything there. So I pulled it up, thawed the turkey for a couple of days, and last night I prepared it and threw it in the oven. What it is she says you cook it. The way you prepare it is you just, you know, you take the packets of giblets and stuff like that out, and you put in a stick of butter, and then you wrap it really well in aluminum foil, and you put it in the oven for an hour at 250 degrees, and then you cook it for overnight at 200 degrees for 10 to 12 hours until it's done. So Orrin, as Orrin is, you know, he was, it's not gonna cook. Yeah, it is. So this morning when I got up, I guess we have an element that automatically turns off the stove or the oven, and it was off, but the turkey was still hot. And so I pulled it out and I opened it up, and I wanted to turn it over to make sure that the button had popped on it. Oh my gosh, the turkey was falling apart trying to pick it up to turn it over. It was done. And I tried a little piece of white meat. Oh my gosh, guys. I have never had white turkey meat that was as tender and moist as that. I was telling my mom about it this morning. I'll never bake a turkey any other way again. So, I'm going to make mashed potatoes, and I've got a stuffing mix and gravy mix. I can't do those by gravy. I can't. My gravy never turns out. I can do stuffing from scratch, but it's a Weight Watcher recipe, but it's really good. And then I'm going to have whole kernel corn, but I want to make my pumpkin dump cake. I haven't made it in years, and it is to die for. So I'll make that a little later. And it is so good. So it's like pumpkin, eggs, evaporated milk, not condensed sweetened milk, but evaporated milk, some pumpkin spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, and I think one other. And some, what else? You mix all of that up, put it in your pan, in a greased pan, like a cake pan. And then you take either spice cake mix or a yellow cake mix. And you just sprinkle that cake mix on the top of it. And then you chop up pecans and sprinkle those on. That might be something else that goes in with the pumpkin and the eggs and stuff, is some more pecans or walnuts, whatever you have. And then you take a stick of butter and melt it and pour the stick of butter over all of it, and then you bake it for an hour. And oh my gosh, I like it best when it's warm, and with Cool Whip or whipped topping on top when it's warm. You will think you've gone to heaven. It is that wonderful. And I'll put I've got that recipe on my Cooking at the Lilac Thicket, and I will put that link in the show notes so you have that recipe too. But I highly recommend Tara's Living on a Dime cookbook. That is a great, I've made her peanut butter cookie recipe in there. She's got, in that, she's got gift ideas and the different ideas on how to make gift baskets, how to make, I think soaps in there too. She's got grocery lists. Her whole premise is that, you know, now there's a beautiful cardinal. That you can, people spending hundreds of dollars on food for like a family of 4. But she's how you can do it frugally and have really tasty food. It just takes a little more time, people think. Some things yes, some things no. Because like making lasagna, I like Stouffer's lasagna, yeah. But there are like a whole herd of sparrows out there. They live in my lilac bush, and I was laughing at them the other day. What is that eating? Oh, okay. We have 2 grease cakes up. And, no, Noah, gosh, Noah, give him the finger. It was, they were all in there, and they were all chattering, and you'd see the branches just go wiggling all around it. It was so funny. It sounded like a real squabble going on in there. And then this one male sparrow comes out, and he just flies over, and he sits in this lilac tree. It's almost like, God, those women. And then he eats, and he sits back, and it's like he's trying to escape. The next thing I know, he flies away. I just had to laugh at him. He got so tired of those old cluckety-cluck women. Sparrow hanging upside down on the seed cake there. I'm going to smack the holy heck out of you if you don't stop. I just had a brilliant idea though. Because I have a recipe for making a wreath out of birdseed, and you mix it up with, I think egg whites or something like that, and you pack it in a bundt pan, and you let it dry overnight, and then you can put a ribbon and hang it from a tree or a post or something. Yeah. I could have saved one of those plastic containers that the sweet cakes come in, and I could make that same recipe and make my own seed cakes. I am so brilliant. So guys, I think that I'm actually talking when I'm stitching. What was it that I was gonna... I'll think of it later, I guess. It was... I do thank everybody, though, for all their comments about my pumpkins. I think what I'm going to do on Monday is I'm going to make a trip up to Hannah's, and I'm going to see if I can find a set of those 3 sparkly pumpkins like I bought, and put them in the box for the prize package, because I've had... And I don't know why, but it surprises me. But people who don't live in this country, they have a hard time finding stuff like the pumpkins. They said, I wish we had this stuff here. And Verby was saying that they don't have anything like there, and everything in those is so expensive. I guess what I wanted to do was, so I think I'm only going to be able to get 4 on a row, which would mean 16, and then I'd have to get 9 on this other piece. How big is this other piece? I guess I should have tried to figure this out before. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I would be able to get 9 out of that. And 16 out of this. Maybe I might be able to get a little bit more, because I think that I could, rather than stitching them vertically, I could maybe stitch down here horizontally and get another line in, maybe. Yeah, that'd be good. Noah, you are just going to get spanked if you don't stop that. You're going to get all of my friends' dogs going. And I don't know what you got into, but he's got, it's almost like frosting or something like that, and his fur is globbed together. I hope all of you have grabbed your stuff and are stitching too, because I had thought about doing some running around today, but I just don't feel like it. Mom and sis went to Missouri Town, which is a village or town made up of structures that people made about 1850, and it's like a reenactment type of a place. You have a church and a general store and a smithy, and every year in October they have craft show or craft festival, but it's not at all like what it used to be. I haven't been in years. One year they had this little girl playing a flute. She was dressed in the era, and she's sitting in a tree playing the flute. My girlfriend Jill at the time, her and her husband got married out there at the church in Missouri Town. And Jill's grandmother worked for Benjamin Stables here in Kansas City. And Mr. Benjamin brought out his carriage with the horses, and he was taking people in the carriage from the parking lot down to the church. Yeah, and we had all it was Rana, May, I can't remember who the other person was that was, not sure if it was, I don't think it was Jackie that stood up with her. I was the maid of honor. And her sister-in-law Joni played the guitar and sung the song, and it was really cool. It was the first wedding out there. There was actually a write-up in the Kansas City Star about it. Yeah. Chickadee-dee-dee. Yeah, that seed thing is almost gone. The seed cake. Stop. I know that you're cute, and I know that you love me. You see them? Oh, barely. All the butterflies are gone. do a little repair in here on this cart. Yeah. If you get one of these carts, be careful because yeah, I'm gonna have to reinforce the wheels, the legs with the wheels on them, since they're plastic. I don't know what he's seeing. He'll sit there and snarfle. I was sitting out here in the dark the other night, and Noah was in here with me, and Allie was standing right outside the sliding door, and I heard a hiss. Scared the bejesus out of me. Couldn't figure out what was hissing. And then when I got in, I got to thinking about it. They have a cat next door. Must have been the cat. Because I watch these, you know, spooky ghosty things on YouTube and stuff and get myself all spooked out. So I watched about Mary Jo Kopechne and Chappaquiddick and Edward Kennedy. Those Kennedys are something else. But then they interviewed the diver who recovered Mary Jo Kopechne's body, and it was really interesting. They were talking about several books, so I went on to Amazon and ordered a couple of used books. One's called Teddy Bear, B-A-R-E. And the other one was called Senatorial Privilege. And you know what? I'm not gonna sling arrows at the Kennedys, even though I'm not a big Kennedy fan, because they were just as corrupt as the rest of Washington, D.C. But yeah, with this, what was it, Menendez in New Jersey on trial. Anybody that's heard about that? You know, I think a lot of people get into Congress or get, you know, elected to the House or Senate with the best of intentions, and then they just get corrupted by the system, and they're just all about, they forget about their constituents who put them there. Don't give a flying fig about us. And then there's the great gun debate. Gotta tell you guys, I come from a gun-packing family. And as long as the family's had guns, none of us have gone and shot anybody. So the illusions of gun control, it's more like people control, isn't it? You can't legislate people's state of mind or their intent. You can try to keep felons and people with mental health issues from owning guns, but people, where there's a will, there's a way. And also people forget that one of the reasons this country has not been invaded is because Germany, Japan knew that we had the citizens of this country were well armed, and they knew that if they tried to invade this country, that it would be a bloodbath, and they would tuck tail and go running back home. So, you know, I don't know what the answer to that problem is. I think one of the problems is that there are a lot of people out there who don't value human life. Those flowers are blooming out there. They're like a red torch flower kind of thing. So what's that? So I really don't know how long this video is going to be. What do you think about that? Oh, somebody's got their clothes hanging out to dry. We don't have a clothes line. I would love to have a clothesline. Nothing that I like more than to slip into bed in sheets that have just come in from the clothesline. I love chickadees, the way they fly. They just sort of like just. Oh, there's a titmouse. He's hanging upside down on the seed cake or what's left of it. Oh, that cool breeze is heavenly. Titmice are gray and they have a buff colored belly, and they've got this little gray comb on top there, and their eyes, it looks like they just woke up. I think I could sit out here forever. I've also thought, wouldn't it be neat if we could get our bed out here and put like royal sheer curtains up and sleep out here at night. Yeah. Mm. Oh, wow. Wolf. He just barks at everything, and he's so short, I don't know how he can see anything, especially when he's on the floor. But my oh my, this dog can bark. It's a woodpecker. Oh. It's a downy, a male. They're black and white striped, and they have like a white tummy, and they're small, about the size of a sparrow, and the males have a little red patch like at the nape of the neck, and well, it's not even, it's the back of the crown. You know where you've got that little bump back there, right before your neck starts? It's like right there. The birds. The males have a red one, and the females don't. He's going at that suet cake. They had $7.70 for 10 of them, a box of 10 of them at Aldi's. I want to thank all of you for just putting up with me today, doing this little stitching and talking. I feel a lot better. Thank you. It is really difficult. I'm sure all of you have lost somebody. I don't know, I think it's different when it's your parents. I don't know, maybe it's not. I was going to say that it was different when it's your grandparents or your parents or your siblings. It's different. And because last night I was thinking, actually I was talking with Rick, and I was telling him that there is no one else in the world that is more like me than Rick, Jeff, and Ginger, my siblings, because we all share the same parental line, and that our DNA, our chromosomes, it's just we're made up of the same people. And your cousins, you're close, but you're not as close. And your parents, you only have half, because half of you is your mom and half of you is your dad. And so you only have like half your mom and half your dad in you. But you and your siblings, you all have the same, half a dad and half a mom. Does that make sense? So I think you connect with your siblings. I know some people don't have good relationships with their siblings, and I don't necessarily say that I've always had the rosiest of relationships with mine, but there's nobody on the face of the earth that is closer genetically to me than my siblings. And even though all four of us look so much different, we're so much alike. Now, I should say that I have 4 siblings because my mom lost a baby between Rick and Jeff. So I have a brother or sister in heaven, but I never got to know them. And the other thing that sort of I was contemplating was that with each of my siblings, there's no one in the world that has known them longer than me except my mom. None of them. I've been there since the day they were born, and even before that. So there's definitely a spiritual connection between us. Something that is something that you don't have with anybody else. And it's sort of cool, you know? I do know one thing. I don't want to be the last one. I don't think I could handle that. Oh, we're going an hour. Well, this is an hour. If you stuck with me for an hour, God bless you. Oh dear. I think Noah gave up and went in. I love my sunroom. I love my backyard. And even though we live on this really busy street, because you can hear the traffic, I feel like I'm in a secluded, forested area. And it brings me a great deal of peace. And Carrie was talking about she had gotten somebody in to tinker with her. I think she has a gas fireplace, and she said she didn't have any yellow flames. I don't remember exactly what she said. And she said it'll keep her. It's a source of warmth for her there in England. They have the damp coldness in the winter too. And I said, I can't wait. I can't wait to light up the wood in my wood burning fireplace, and on a cold winter day, and with a good book and a hot mug of cocoa, and just enjoy the warmth and the crackling sounds of the fire. I don't want it to snow and ice and stuff, but it'll do what it'll do, right? Orrin looked at me like I was crazy. I got out of bed the other morning, and I walked into the bathroom, and my wedding band was gone. And he was in his closet, and I just panicked. I've lost my wedding ring. Where's my wedding ring? And it was just sitting there on top of the bed. And he looked at me like I was crazy, and I was upset. And I said, this thing's very special to me. I don't know what if I'd do if I lost it. My first marriage, when I was at work, I was making IVs, and we had these like pieces of equipment that weigh like a ton, and I mean really 2,000 pounds. What they do is they pump sterile air through it so that you can make your compounding as sterile as possible in the field. Well, was a rubber rug in front of it on the floor, because you could stand there for an hour making stuff, and it made it easier on your feet. Well, I don't know, I had taken it off, as you're supposed to do, and I set it on the hood, and something happened, and a bottle rolled, something happened, and my wedding band rolled off, or was pushed off, and it went underneath the hood. Oh my gosh, I was a mess. Fortunately, what happened was the ring was just sitting on the edge of the rubber mat, and when I pulled the mat out, the ring was right there on the edge. So I was gonna have to, thought, well, I'm gonna have to get somebody to come and move this big piece of equipment so I can get my ring. Well, the pharmacist started laughing at me. I said, well, I'm sure you find it funny. You're not married. People. People, people, people. freaking mess this is. Ting. 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 Those clouds are just flying by. Oh my word. I was just about to say, I think I lied to you when I said there's no butterflies. But I saw this yellow thing, you know how butterflies fly. It's like little petals in the wind. And that's what I saw. And it just dropped. It was like a little tiny leaf. But the bright colors, there's one like bright orange leaf on our what's the purple one? The red bud in front. It's red bud. Very long. Well, guys, it's been like an hour and 10 minutes, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this video because I need to take a quick break, eat something because I'm starting to get hungry, and it's just so pretty out there. Anyway, so I'll let this little puppy dry. And yeah, I haven't gotten any stash. I did call Just Craft Stitch because I wanted to know when we'd be getting the Christmas issue, because I know that it's in the needlework stores, and I don't know. I think the subscribers should get it before anybody else does. I still haven't received mine yet. Have you? But the gal said we should have it by the end of October. So I'm sort of disappointed in that. And I have not started to receive my World of Cross-Stitching yet. I'm looking forward to getting that. And let's see, what else? I've just been sort of puttering around. What was it that I just reorganized? Oh, I went through a bunch of free designs that I have upstairs. Like I have a stack like this downstairs. I would say that's over a foot high of them. And then I have 2 notebooks, binder notebooks, big, like 3-inch binder notebooks full of freebies. And I have one of those like the wooden letter mailbox things. They're cubbies, you know. You see, I've got one of those. I don't know what you call it, but 3 of those are filled with, the 3 of the little cubbies are filled with freebies. So I went through those and looked at them, and I was really excited because I found all of my Just Dan freebies. So thankful, because I mean they're old ones, and Just Dan doesn't do freebies anymore. A lot of designers don't. In fact, I saw an article that sort of, I don't know, it was about, and it was from a number of years ago, and it was that the designer didn't feel that freebies were a good thing for the designers, that freebies was taking money out of designers' pockets, and that she understood that they would use a freebie as the freebies to entice stitchers to try or sample their product. She said, but there's one newsletter, and this was like I said, this is about to be about a 10-year-old article. She says there's one newsletter, and I know which one she was talking about. It was Legata, that has like 8,000 subscribers, and they get links, tons and tons of links to freebies, and then people don't buy. And I thought, that's not true. That's not true at all. And I disagree with her premise. As a designer, and she's no longer a designer, she does have the right to, butterfly, it was a monarch, and it's going south. As a designer, you are not obligated to provide freebies. And that is a personal decision that you make. There's a beautiful blue jay. But just because I collect freebies, whether it would be, that's a cardinal. Oh, 2 cardinals. Doesn't mean that I don't spend money. That doesn't mean that at all. In fact, I think it's just the opposite. You know, I see these and I like these designs. I'm gonna go see what they have, and I buy more and more and more. Well, I'm on that, bandwagon right now. But my gosh, magazines. You can get, now the magazines aren't free, and I don't know how magazines, if designers get paid for the designs they have in magazines. I have no idea. But I would be curious how that. But I felt that it was a very negative article about stitching. Well, I will say this. Yes, I love having the designers that we have. I love the variety and such like that. But you know what? Even if there aren't designers, we're still going to be cross-stitching because we have an imagination and we can make our own patterns. So whether you're designing or not, there's still going to be cross-stitching. There was. Look at the beautiful samplers back in the 1700s, 1600s. How many cross-stitchers designers were out there then? None. So, anyways, it was an interesting article. And I don't agree with her premise, but I understand what she's saying, and I respect that. And maybe part of the reason why she's no longer designing. But anyways, it was interesting. And you know what? That's part of the hobby too, isn't it? It's not just about the stitching. It's about the organizing. It's about the going out onto Pinterest and pinning things. That's part of the hobby. It's going and hunting for the freebie designs. It's reading the newsletters, perusing the shops. That's all part of the hobby. It's just not the stitching. So if you're not able to stitch for whatever reason, whether it's a permanent or temporary thing, you can still enjoy the hobby because there's other things that you can do. Whether it's, going through your stash, whether it's organizing, it's all so much fun. And it's just part of it. It's just part of it. So anyways, wow. Sandy Joe's got a big, big mouth with a lot of unpopular opinions because most of them are conservative and that's very unpopular right now. But anyways, yeah. So, and that's, that's another thing. Even though I may have a different opinion than someone else, I can really respect other people's opinions, and I enjoy having good conversations, the exchanging of opinions and the arguments, not arguments arguing, but what is your argument? What is your opinion? Why do you have that opinion? That's not an argument. That's a healthy conversation. So, you may not agree with my views on things, but that's okay. You don't have to. But we can still be friends. We can still enjoy one another. And we probably still have more things in common than we don't. And it's a big world and a bigger universe. And there's room for everybody's opinion. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of room or respect for people whose opinions differ with others. There's a lot of intolerance that's going on right now. And I just don't agree with that. And just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean it's hateful. And so, yeah. Even my husband and I, we don't, on most things we agree, but there are, from time to time, things we don't agree on. Imagine that. But anyway. Chickadee-dee-dee. Blue Jay. Okay, well, thank you so much for sitting and stitching with me and consoling me, because I know people are giving me love and hugs, and I'm fine. I really am. It's just very sad, a very sad day. I know that even if Rick was living, we probably wouldn't see him today, because he hated parties every bit as much as I did. And my mom wants to have a birthday party for us every year and have the family over, and I'm just not really into that. Now, this past year, I let her have a party because I was 60 this year. And I knew Ricky wouldn't come. He did from time to time come to birthday parties, but he wouldn't want a birthday party. But Mom would make chili, and she'd make birthday cake, and we'd have presents, and she's always tried to make our birthdays special for us, even because we are such a small family, and we have no kids in our family. It's just us, and we really are a very close family, even though Ginger and Jason's business are their business. Jeff and Lillian's is their business. Orange and Sandy's is our business, is our business. Ricky and Bonnie's business was Ricky and Bonnie's business. Mama's business, that's all of our business, because we have to take care of her. She's 80. We have to take care of her. We haven't gotten an appointment yet for her, as far as cancellation, moving up her appointment, but she still has her appointment. I think is the 25th, so it's getting closer. It'd be nice to get her in sooner. And anyways, and here we are. I've blathered on and on and on. This so fat face blathering. I might have to go steal some turkey. I got some of those King's rolls, those Hawaiian rolls, and they had deli sliced ham at Hy-Vee for $3 a pound, and I'm gonna go have one of those too. Sandwich. Anyways, I love all of you, and thank you so much for being my friend and subscribing to me and participating in all of my madcap adventures. And think about the challenge, the tag challenge. I'll have more on it, and female cardinal. Anyways, I love all of you, and I'm going to say God bless. P.S. I forgot. I don't know a lot of shoot. I can't recite things from the Bible to you, but there's one very short scripture that I know by heart, and I'm going to share that with you, and it's Jesus wept. I love you. God bless.